Hey there everyone, welcome to Arsenal Fan TV, and I think it's safe to say that after that performance we're not going to be too high up in the pecking order for match of the day this evening, but nonetheless a great result for Arsenal, a 1-0 victory away from home. Not the best of performances, not the most glamorous of performances, but what's most important heading into the international break is getting 3 points on the board, leaving us on 7 points out of 12, which isn't awful. It's above half the points that we could have potentially got, but we need to improve. The squad looked very replenished today, but I think it's safe to say that we do need to be putting in better performances if we're going to be taken seriously as title contenders. But we've got a little bit of respite now. It was just important that we got the 3 points on the board today, and hopefully after the international break, if Welbeck and Wilshere come back into the squad and we've got a few more alternatives, hopefully we'll see better performances coming from Arsenal. First of all, the Arsenal team today was a really different one to the one that we saw play against Liverpool. We saw Gabriel line up with Koscielny coming back into the side. Gabriel was absolutely magnificent today, lining up with Koscielny. Koscielny's control on the ball was absolutely superb. Gabriel's tackling, his aerial ability was absolutely second to none, and I think that those two have to be the long-term partnership from here on in. They complemented each other brilliantly. The fullbacks were superb. Monreal had another class game. He's performed so well in all of our games this season. Bellerin had another really good game, some excellent touches, some great work going down that right-hand flank. But the big changes, of course, were up top. Chamberlain came into the squad, which is what so many people wanted to see, and that was an absolutely great move for all of us, because we were finally going to have width in the side. We saw Alexis Sanchez start on the left, we saw Walcott start up top. I was a bit sceptical about Walcott starting up top, and I think his performance reflected why. He only had 18 touches in the whole game. If he's going to be taken seriously as a striker, he's also going to be burying the chances that he was presented with. Didn't have a good enough game in my opinion. I would have started with Olivier Giroud, and it's becoming more and more evident that the striking role is becoming an issue at Arsenal, because it's another game where we've actually failed to score a goal ourselves. We got it through this game through an own goal, but it's important that we start getting a bit more belief within the team and belief that these players can get goals on the board, because a lot of the players that aren't getting goals are the ones that were getting goals last season, the likes of Cazorla, etc. I want to see these players getting more involved in the team, and as well as that, Mesut Ozil wasn't included in the game today. Jake Humphrey made a tweet saying that Ozil could potentially be, well, I don't know if he was just suggesting that he was out of the team because he's trying to push for a deal, and I think he's nudge wink at Benzema, but I'm not going to believe that for 1 minute. It's remains to be seen what's happening on that. I'll leave that one out for debate. But Jake Humphrey tweeted that he was rumoured to be out with a minor knee injury or back injury, whatever, but he wasn't featuring in the team, which is just typical because we were actually starting with 2 out-and-out wingers. And Theo Walcott, he would have absolutely loved playing in this game because of the runners he'd have had beyond him. But it looked like we started with Ramsey playing in a number 10 role, with Cazorla playing a little bit deeper, or it was the other way around. But it looked like it was Cazorla who was playing that little bit deeper with Ramsey higher up in the pitch. Ramsey had a frustrating first half. His second half was absolutely superb, and he was rewarded with the man of the match performance, and it just shows how much better he plays when playing through the middle. He created 2 chances, I think, or was it 4 chances? I think it was 4 chances that Ramsey created in this game, and he proved why he needs to be played through the middle and not wasted on that right hand side of the pitch. Chamberlain didn't have his best game, but he just showed how influential he was to the team. He looked really good going forward, and he was heavily involved in the goal. Of course, it was his shot that came off Colaccini and went into the back of the net. The first half, of course, so much to talk about really, despite being goalless. First of all, the penalty shout. Hector Bellerin went into the box. It was a clear foul. Forvan got his foot on Bellerin's. Howard Webb on the BT punditry thing said that it should have been a foul, and in my opinion it was definitely a penalty. I think most would agree with that. And also shortly after that, the Mitrovic red card. And, you know, this one's going to be so heavily debated, but I do think it's a red card in my opinion. The way he went in for the tackle on Coquelin, you know, he didn't really need to do it. He went in, he left it late. He could have caused quite a serious injury to Coquelin. Made my shin tingle quite a bit looking at that back on the replay, but it was a poor challenge from Mitrovic, rightly sent off, and Newcastle were down to 10 men, which I don't really think changed the dynamics of the game in any way, shape or form. We didn't take advantage of them having 10 men, because the way it panned out was we were just still dilly-dallying around through the box, not really doing much, and being wasteful in possession, which was unfortunate. We looked good. It was a good start for us. Newcastle were drawing fouls here, there and everywhere. They had so many yellow cards. We were pressing them. We were looking good, but we had no end product, as was the story of the Liverpool game. We had our first real clear-cut chance through Theo Walcott. It was a shot by Alexis Sanchez, just a pot shot. It was great to see Sanchez actually have a go, which was something no one else was doing. It fell to Walcott. and from about 4 yards out, he blazed it over the crossbar, and it didn't even go towards the goal. It was an awful shot from Walcott, and he also got in more positions to get chances in on goal, but unfortunately he couldn't capitalise on the chances that he was presented with, and he wasn't involved in the game enough for me. And the players, the wingers, the likes of Alexis Sanchez, Chamberlain, we didn't see the best out of them because there was no one for them to run off of, should I say, because there was no Giroud to hold up the ball and lay the ball off to those kind of players. So that heavily impacted our game. I think Giroud has to be starting from here on in if we're not able to bring in another former striker. But going into that second half, we did look up for it, but it was kind of the same story as the first half. We did get a fortunate goal through Chamberlain. I think it was Ramsey that played Chamberlain in. Chamberlain has a shot, comes on Colaccini in the back of the net. You have to say, for the amount of possession we had, the amount of chances that we were creating, we did deserve that goal. We went up 1-0, but you would hope we'd get another few goals from that. Newcastle did absolutely nothing in this game. After the red card especially, they weren't attacking, they weren't pressing. There was absolutely nothing to worry about from a Newcastle perspective. But going forward, we should have had more chances. We had a great chance through Olivier Giroud to get on the score sheet right at the end of the game. And apart from that, I can't really think of any more clear-cut chances. Giroud came on for Walcott, which was the right move, and he had an awful shot the minute he came onto the pitch. But he had a great chance right at the end of the game, which should have been 2-0, and just evidenced why we need a striker. Someone that can offer an alternative to these players, someone that is going to put the ball in the back of the net quite simply, because Giroud's inconsistent at doing it, Walcott is inconsistent at doing it. I don't think Walcott is a striker. He should be playing on the wing, and predominantly on the wing for us, because he can't do a good enough job in that striking role. Yes, he got 3 goals against West Brom last season. He got a goal in the FA Cup final, but if he's going to do it consistently, it hasn't worked for us at the start of this season. I think we're going to see the best out of him if he's playing in the same team as Giroud, but on that right hand flank. That's just my opinion. I'll leave that up for you to debate in the comment section below. But I did get your tweets on this game. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at @simplycookie_ if you want to be involved in both the previews and reviews of these games. But first up from @Mazzola19 says, not the best of performances, but a win nonetheless. Completely agree. @Sydney Okafor_ says, today weren't great, but after that 0-0 against Liverpool, I didn't expect us to be. All I wanted today was a win. @Guna says, not clinical enough up front, lacks creativity in the middle, but out wide is where Arsenal looks most dangerous. @Real_Bailey15 says, Koscielny and Gabriel should be first choice centre back partnership. Coughlin was solid, clean sheet and 3 points, nothing more than that. And @CassilBoy77 says, I think with Ox on the right instead of Ramsey, it provides us with more width and we were able to stretch Newcastle. Yep, once again, thanks to everyone that tweeted in. Do make sure to follow me on Twitter. If you do want to be involved in these videos, I will include every single one, even if they're not read out in the video in some way. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my summary of today's game. A 1-0 win away from home at a ground where I think Newcastle will potentially take points off the other big clubs. They got a good draw, almost a victory then, against Man United last weekend. They took points off United away from home. That's the game United really should have won. We've gone to St James's Park, got a win. And, you know, we've just got to be putting in better performances. If we put in better performances after the international break, when we've got Wilshere and Welbeck back, I would hope that we start to play better. We've got Stoke at home next. They saw 2 red cards today. The likes of Afellay and Charlie Adams are going to be out for that game, and we've got to be getting like a 2 or 3-0 win at some point, just to put some more confidence into the team. I believe when we have a victory like that, then the performances will just flow through, and I would hope that we can get this title march on the roll. But in terms of results, Chelsea lost today, Liverpool lost today, Man City won again. They're looking absolutely superb. But the results have gone in our favour today, bar Man City. And I would hope that after the international break we can come back with a load of confidence. Hopefully, come Tuesday, we'll have a couple of new signings within the squad. Hopefully a striker and a centre defensive midfielder. And hopefully we can, like I say, we can get the season up and running. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on today's game at St James's Park, the 1-0 victory over Newcastle. What were your thoughts on the game? Make sure to leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV. Subscribe to my own channel, AFC Game by Game. And as always, thank you for watching.